Hello, everyone. My name is Vincent Mei. Many of you are my students at Buddhism. And thank you for attending this, or thank you for watching this video. We have a big announcement to make, and this is a quite exciting news that I want to share with everyone. And the goal of this is to gain some feedback, your thoughts, and potentially some support from you guys. All right, and with me is Sean Xu, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sean, and I've been practicing traditional Chinese martial art for 10 years. Started with Hongga, learned Baji during my time in university, and I'm also the Kung Fu brother of Master Mei. We are under the same branch, Wutan. And later, I've studied Xingyi and Bagua. I've been practicing, learning, and researching TCMA until now, and I love it so much, and would like to contribute myself to it. And this is the reason that I've been working with Master Mei on this project, Tsáng Wǔ Gé. I'm sure it will be a love letter to all TCMA lovers and practitioners.
Okay, I like that, love letter. So Tsáng Wǔ Gé. So as you can see on the right on the cover page, this is about a perpetual Wulin. Right. So we all see that Wulin itself is. I mean, it means, in case you don't know, Wulin itself means it's the martial arts society. Like that's how we call sort of on a bigger sense, society sense, like those who practice martial art as a community, right? And we see a sort of a extinction coming, and how the martial arts scene is getting weaker, and less people are practicing it. And this is our solution to keep it going, and also perpetual in a perpetual sense. All right, so start off, I believe that in order to continue the teaching and promotion of traditional Chinese martial art, not necessarily just Baji Chuan, just as an overall, including Xingyi, Baihe, like all the different styles, all these wonderful styles, it needs to be in a diverse approach, right? So all together, we see people teaching casually in the park, making friends, and also exchanging ideas in a casual way. Then you have people who are very into fighting, into combat, into translating these traditional methods into ring fighting, cage fighting, sports fighting. Then you have those people who are promoting, very importantly too, they're promoting the ideology of traditional Chinese martial art, and which is the heart and soul of TCMA. And also there are people who strictly teach and learn Taoism, which is the form routines. And here in Tsáng Wǔ Gé, we also have a very special way to do so. Some of you have experience with Baji Shu, so we're borrowing or we're expanding that method. We can break through geographic limitation and time zone limitation, language barriers, to let martial art, good traditional martial art, to reach every corner of the world. As long as there's a broadband connection, you can learn. And as you can see at the bottom, these are our vision, definitely not limited to these styles. Obviously, there are more styles than this. And our mission, the mission here is that we all know that the world is changing faster and faster because of the technology, right? And it becomes our mission who treasure and practice, or we inherit this treasure knowledge of Chinese martial art. We have to keep it going. We have to keep it quality control, to keep it continue. And Tsáng Wǔ Gé, all right, so in short, we can call it the TWG, all right? So in case you find it like tongue twisting, you can call it TWG. All right, Tsáng Wǔ Gé is a centralized new platform for training, and we call it an academy, not just a school, right? So it's really academy, and that is able to scale up the idea of this martial arts society global, which has never been done before. And another really important point is that we want this to grow into business entity. right? Instead of a cultural promotion. And we all have seen, like, multiple different organizations, groups, even government funded organizations. They're trying to promote these traditional martial art from a cultural preservation standpoint. And what we're doing here is really to translate it into a business entity, something that has a value to all martial artists, whether you're a student or you're aspire to become a teacher, so that this can become a goal of a career moving down the path. Another really important vision of us is to preserve, right? So we talk about, this is an academy, this is a business oriented, but also very importantly, the subtext of it, or the important thing of it, is to really preserve all these great treasures digitally. And when you hear about digitally, you think about DVDs, you think about VHS, even books, but these are all still physical objects. Now we leveraging the technology of cloud computing, cloud storage. So when we store these knowledge, they're no longer in a text form. They're no longer in static pictures. They can be really translated into a teaching series. All right. So not just a volume of 3, right? So this is kind of a episodic, approach, right? Some of you who have participated in Body School, you guys know it's a 2-year program. It's a 4-year program. So it's really a download of my knowledge that I inherited from my teacher, and we store it online forever, right? And the goal for this this presentation is, like I said earlier, I'm wishing to receive feedback, receive thoughts from you guys, and obviously we are looking for funding, right? So later on, we're going to explain why we need the funding for. And this is a really large project, and it does require an amount of initial funding to kick it off, right? Your support is not just supporting me, not just supporting Tsáng Wǔ Gé. You're really supporting the entire world of and the knowledge of traditional Chinese martial art, and helping it to realize the vision of Tsáng Wǔ Gé, to really keep it preserved in a perpetual way. Okay. So we did some research towards the market. Like I said, this is a business structured academy. So we did some market research, and I'm going to hand the microphone to Sean.
Thanks, Master Mei, for the brief introduction of Tsáng Wǔ Gé. And I'll spend some time to talk about the current status of traditional Chinese martial art and the opportunity. So TCMA is currently facing several challenges that are resulting in a significant shortage of successors to preserve this valuable martial art form. So the first challenge that we are facing is the lack of international expansion capabilities. We can only rely on people coming overseas for learning experience. And another challenge that we are facing is most schools lack a systematic teaching approach and high quality instructional materials, and which result in a long time before seeing any tangible result or even no result. So for example, for myself, it took me like over 10 years to fully understand the styles I've learned and to develop my own theories. However, I believe that with better organized instruction during my learning period, I could have built up my learning curve, skills, and personal theories more efficiently and faster. And next challenge we are facing is each school is divided into different styles with little exchange and interaction, leading to a lack of unity. So due to this lack of unity, the Chinese martial art community lacks a unified certification system. So students don't have clear goals to pursue. And on the other hand, instructors can quickly understand students' capabilities when they meet the new student. Another challenges that we're facing is the community is overly adhering to traditional apprentice systems, where masters hold on to their skills, and it's kind of discourage younger generations from learning. So it leads to a serious generational gap. And the last challenge, it is kind of important, is misrepresentation of media, like movies, novels, and even manga. Sometimes they present a fantasy representation of traditional Chinese martial art, leading people to have an incorrect image of TCMA before they even begin practicing. And although we have faced those challenges, we still find opportunities to break through. For example, the first one, it is a niche market with big potential. There are over 300 million active practitioners and enthusiasts of traditional Chinese martial art globally, and there are growing interest and demands worldwide. These Kung Fu enthusiasts are spread across like globally. You can see it in Baji Shu. And among those lovers, practitioners of traditional Chinese martial art, they are in various styles. And Tsáng Wǔ Gé is a platform that offers various styles of martial arts, can effectively meet the need of those who want to learn traditional Chinese martial art. For example, I've been interested in Caliphate for years, but there wasn't any Caliphate master in Taiwan. I couldn't have a chance to see it myself, and don't mention learning properly from real Caliphate masters. So we can see how Tsáng Wǔ Gé is a potential solution to these challenges. Another opportunity is the growing need of virtual learning after pandemic. So the online fitness industry is expected to experience a huge growth between now and 2028. And also, health and fitness apps store consumer spend, download, and even time spent have all increased significantly. And another opportunity is the expanding market of martial art, like film and entertainment, sports science, health and wellness industry are tapping into traditional Chinese martial art. It's kind of adding the holistic value to it. I will hand it to Master Mei to talk about a little bit of Baji Shu.
Thank you. Yeah, so seeing the trend of growing market, we really see a huge opportunity here, and more so than for us not to let the this treasure of knowledge to die out. And Baji Shu, I believe many of you are my student on Baji Shu, and you guys have seen what Baji Shu can do to you, to me. Just whatever we're doing right now with Baji Shu is already making a big impact in extending the art of Baji globally. We're using Baji Shu as a successful, almost like a prototype to validate Tsáng Wǔ Gé method. So Baji Shu is Tsáng Wǔ Gé's first Shu. So Tsáng Wǔ Gé means it's an academy, right? It's a space, it's a place, and Shu means a school, right? And so Baji Shu is a school under Tsáng Wǔ Gé. I'm just going to explain Baji Shu to those of you who are not familiar with Baji Shu. So whoever is familiar with this, you hear it again. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Baji Shu is one of a kind online training platform. It started in the year of 2021 during the global pandemic lockdown. And just over the past 2 years, it's also out of my expectation. It has grown into actually 8 classes, 8 groups, and also over 100 super dedicated students around the world training in the Baji Shu method weekly. And what makes the Baji Shu system work?
Okay, so this is a quick 3-minute long intro for how demonstrate how Baji Shu works. And I believe a lot of you probably have seen this. And if you want to skip, you can skip. It's about 3 minutes long. If you have not seen this, this would be a pretty good summary of how the Baji Shu platform work and why is it successful. So essentially, we are combining, teaching the essence of Baji Quan and also Pigua Zhang as well. And Baji and Pigua, they're basically two very drastically different styles, ancient styles, and basically they're completely different, and also they work so seamlessly, complementary to each other. And these are the lessons that we upload on our platforms, and we focus a lot on warm-ups, power drills, which builds body mechanics, and then there are a lot of their forms. We're using forms to teach a lot of the techniques and how body should work, and also applications. And we encourage students to have find a partner, training partner. The training partner does not need to be trained. Obviously, some background would be great. But yeah, just so for them to test out what they've learned and train, not just the application, but also how to apply the body mechanics into the movements. Yeah, these are students from various different places. Thomas from France, Bogdan from Romania, Fabio from Italy, and then I believe next one is, yeah, we have Alex from the Philippines. So basically, students are from all over the world, and they train on their own terms, their own time, submit homework, and then I make notes. These are kind of the screenshots that I take, that I freeze the frames and then draw, some notes on it, and then I explain the notes through a short 5 to 10 videos to each individual. And here's just when I was explaining the Chengzang Baji Quan movement and how it's connected to the rear leg.
All right, so to summarize what I just talked about, what's unique? You're like, okay, so how is it different from some of those fitness and streaming platform, right? There are a few major differences that make a huge difference. Number one, we separate students into groups. We don't just upload a bunch of videos and just pay and watch, right? Like Netflix. It's not like that. There's no quality control. There's no discipline. There's no sense of community. So first of all, we group students into about 10 to 20 people, and every week we release one lesson. And that new lesson will have the new materials, new teachings, and also at the end of each lesson, we assign training homework. Then students can watch these videos on their own terms, on their own time. So nobody has to all these 20 people has to log on to Zoom at the same time. So it's very flexible out of their busy days, busy life. Many of the students also train different styles as well, training karate, training taekwondo, and they still are able to study this very dedicatedly, only because we offer flexibility. And then when they record their homework, they upload it to a Google Drive in the cloud, just basically shared within their groups. And then they can, every week I see my student watch each other's homework submissions. And then, like I said earlier, at a deadline, when they submit all the homework on a deadline weekly, and then I watch these videos, and then I provide feedback individually, and the individual feedback to each of them. So there's a sense of communication. The students just don't train on their own. They have a group with them. They can ask questions on their Facebook group, and they can ask me questions at any time. So there's a fair amount of interaction between me and the students and between each students. And lastly, you will say, okay, so this is online learning. What happened to martial art? This is the fighting art. You don't touch each other. How do you feel? That is an important point. And also what's important is traditional Chinese martial art has a really important foundation building phase, and that's what we're emphasizing on. It is only when someone who has gained the traditional way of movement, how to utilize their body, biomechanics, then the application can work. Without that, your application will fail, and you're going to end up throwing boxing punches and Muay Thai kicks because you're going to find those much easier. So in order to use Chinese martial art, you have to go through this training phase. And we already condensed the traditional way, just like how Sean mentioned, what used to take 5 to 10 years, we condense it into 2 to 4 years. Okay. And I throw seminars in the various different places in the world. So I encourage students to gather to train in person once or twice a year, or if they're in the East Coast of US, just come by to New York on Sunday to attend my in-person classes. And this is a snapshot of since 2022 in February when we started, and we had 30 students, 2 groups by the end of the year. And then by 2023, last year, we grew to 80 members. We had 1 weapon course. That was the Miaodao course. That's an elective course. Then we start selling merch, uniforms, hats, things like that. And then last year, I had 2 seminars, one in New York, one in Italy. And many students gathered from 6 different countries from across Europe and gathered. That was very nice to see. And 2024, which is a goal for this year, we are launching Tsáng Wǔ Gé. But also, we have projected to gain up to 150 members. 3 weapon courses. We have already done 2. So 1 more to go. Bajisu Design Store was launched, which sells our merch. And then we'll have 3 seminars this year, 1 in LA, 1 in Malaysia, and 1 in Europe, most likely in Italy again. 2025 projection, we want to grow to 200 plus. But all these, what I'm mentioning here, is a vertical sort of a growth. This is just me and Baji Train. So a quick summary of why this work, and I'm going to hand the mic to Sean.
So the first point is, it is no time zones, time different limitation. No need to log on to Zoom or set up a class schedule. No matter you are in Japan, Greece, or in USA, students can train on their own pace. Just with the internet, you can reach TCMA lovers anytime and anywhere. And the second important thing is it's perpetual content preservation. So this is kind of the same concept as Tsáng Wǔ Gé library, but we are beyond an old scroll of martial art manuals. We are beyond a DVD tutorial. We are onto a new media platform. It is all cloud-based. So once we created the lessons, they are available for anyone, anytime to access to high-quality learning materials, and it is perpetually. And the third point is the perpetual revenue. So whether in the past or present, being a martial art instructor has always been a profession, much like the roles of estate guards and escort agencies, or even soldiers in the past. As all of these jobs were ways to make a living. So as time goes, although these professions have been disappeared, the essence of being martial arts instructors hasn't changed. So Project Tsáng Wǔ Gé, which enables the continuous value of traditional Chinese martial arts, as long as students continue to register and learn, TCMA instructors can have a consistent source of income, and also they can focusing on enhance their teaching method and materials to pass down this beautiful art to everyone who love it. So no time difference, no geographical barrier, perpetual content preservation, and perpetual revenue.
All right. So the difference of Tsáng Wǔ Gé, right? We talk about Bajisu, and as mentioned before, we require homework submission. This makes a huge difference. A lot of in-person classes, students barely practice during the week, and just this on its own, it's already making a huge difference. And that's why you can see some of these examples. There are so many students there at the top tier levels, and they're all learning just through remotely. As I mentioned before, the Bajishu method is going to be carried over to Tsáng Wǔ Gé. And as we're teaching from my experience, right? So Tsáng Wǔ Gé also offers a lot of things that even in-person learning cannot achieve. First of all, I don't know how, like, if you're a teacher in any art, if you're a teacher of some sort of martial art styles, or you have learning experience from any other teachers, you must have experienced that you cannot remember what the teacher just demonstrated, and you will be asking, Shifu, can you do it again? Can you do it again? I hear that all the time, and I find myself doing the same thing over again. So on these platforms, you're able to rewatch. My in-person student, they're not able to do that, but Bajishu students, Tsáng Wǔ Gé students will be able to rewatch as many times as they want. And then also in the in-person class setting, you all have this experience. In a person setting, a teacher can maximally spend about 5 to 10 minutes on each individual. The rest of it will be a group class. Yes, you can feel the presence of the teacher, feel the community, feel the class, but in reality, you're very much by yourself. And when I find myself looking through these homework submissions, each videos, when I'm watching them, I'm fully dedicated on that student. So that itself on the dedication is something that in-person teacher, unless you have a private lesson or something like that. But in a group setting, you cannot achieve that kind of dedication on the individuals. And then the flexibility of not just the student's time, also my time. You know, I can wake up in the morning, pull my phone over from the nightstand and start grading homework, start reviewing homework. I can do it anywhere, anytime. And it's really maximize the teacher's time and the student's time. Then when I go through these homeworks, I'm able to freeze time. I'm able to go frame by frame, really in hyper detail examining students' movements and in transition. In-person settings is very difficult to do so. Even if you're doing it in front of a mirror, when students record their homework, they watch themselves. When you're doing it in front of a mirror, you cannot watch yourself all the time because you got to focus on your movements. All of these things does not create any conflict with any teachers, including myself, my in-person class, or our future Shifu or our partners. They will never have any conflict with their lineage or their in-person classes. And this is just something that they can do more on top of what they have. They can make more revenues, they can have more students, they can reach farther. And also, most importantly, when you teach, you learn twice, right? For me, I learned so many times already. So I find myself rapidly improving as I teach, right? So that is a great method for all teachers who are participating in Tsáng Wǔ Gé program. Okay, so it's a win-win situation. So in summary, the highlight is that this is a centralized and really advanced online martial art academy, and also we systematically and efficiently organize all the teaching materials, and also giving a teaching experience that is one of a kind, and also the high quality culture preservation. To compare, you know, a traditional, I shouldn't say traditional, but like, you know, a typical online learning, martial art learning, nobody likes it, right? I know so many teachers who taught online through Zoom during the pandemic. Everybody hated it. But I love how Bajishu work. I think Tsáng Wǔ Gé is going to do really well. So first of all, the typical type of online learning, it's very single oriented, and it's very scattered. Students feel alone. You know, there's no sense of community. And the teacher has to constantly watching a video. They always have to log on at the same time, which, you know, obviously quickly you have you're online, but then you're also not online. You're restricted by geographic barrier. Then the quality of the courses material is inconsistent. You have various different styles. You learn Muay Thai, and some teacher teach this way, some teacher teach that way. So it's very inconsistent. And then you cannot get the teacher's instructions. Most of these are just videos thrown online. You just pay and watch. And then there's no support, right? So the student cannot directly communicate. Yes, they can, but there's no unified and systematic way. Tsáng Wǔ Gé is going to set up like a school. So if something you have to complain about a major, or something you have suggestion to make this major better, you communicate with the school, right? So there's a team behind, almost like customer service. So you can communicate through it. So there is someone in between that's communicating to both our teachers, our Shifu, and also to the students as well. And there's a very clear learning path. It's no longer like the old teachers be like, just practice, just practice, just practice. You don't know when is this ending, right? So you know there's expectation very clearly set, and there's a time setting as well. I mentioned about customer service. So there's like basically the Tsáng Wǔ Gé team. Tsáng Wǔ Gé team is going to be constantly optimizing the way we're going to study, how each teacher teaching their students, and then we're going to optimize the method. We're going to look at the analytics. We can track, certain classes, certain students, how they behave, certain web pages, how the metrics works, and then we can optimize it. We can communicate with the teacher to improve his or her teaching method. All right, and this is a mock-up of a website. This is the Tsáng Wǔ Gé umbrella website, and then through here you're able to navigate into various different majors. It worked exactly like a university, that you have various different majors and you have electives. So we are unlocking the ancient secret, in a global sense. We can elevate your martial art learning experience with our revolutionary online Kung Fu Academy. All right, and I want to note it again. This has never been done before, and like I said, this is a big project, and it's a big vision. So, in a nutshell, this is obviously very rough. So you have Tsáng Wǔ Gé website. You have all the majors on the left column. You have all the electives. Why do we separate those two? Because if you choose a major, say you choose Changquan, between the teachers, there should be respect, and also to the students' learning benefit. The students shouldn't just be jumping ship like left and right. There are programs that are designed, that's already compact, designed for students to reach a certain goal, within 1 to 2 years. Then student can switch majors. So there are milestones to hit. But then during the time, we will offer a lot of electives. Electives are short-term courses, maybe 3 to 6 months. These are courses that are beneficial across the board, right? So for example, maybe it's Qigong course, maybe it's a Chinese medicine, or maybe it's the Dieda. Dieda means Dita. That means the trauma or the study of that. It could be a weapon. These are courses that are so valuable, but it doesn't really interfere with any of these majors that you're in, right? We encourage students to study various different academies, but they have to go through maybe an interview to really, when they want to jump ship in the midterms, or if someone really has the capability or availability to train in both systems at the same time. That's also allowed, but we have to go through sort of a procedure to interview and allow that. Okay. And on the right-hand corner, like I said, this is a system. We have a team behind Tsáng Wǔ Gé system to support both students and all our teachers. So our short-term goal is that those of you who understand, the concept of 国术馆, right? During the World War II, World War I, when China was under invasion of basically the rest of the world, the Chinese people really want to stood up and really to strengthen the civilians, general civilians. So they formed these martial art clubs in various different cities across China. And then they invited various different grandmasters, some of the big names in history, who are all gathering together in these 国术馆 become faculties members, and then they systematically create curriculums and they train upon. And this is probably the first time, and probably the last time. Not the last. I shouldn't say that because Tsáng Wǔ Gé is doing this. So this was before Tsáng Wǔ Gé, the last time that you have seen the Chinese martial art community being so unified. So that is our goal. So in the short-term goal, we have already in agreement with Han Jixiang Shifu to establish the Tsáng Wǔ Gé. This is beyond exciting. And also we have Zhu Shouli Shifu to also participate in establishing the Yongchun Shu, the Winchun Shu. And a little bit about our teacher, our faculties. So this was not translated in English yet, but Han Jixiang Lao Shi, those of you who know him, like he recently, I think since last year, he got really famous because of the Will from Monkey Steals Peach visited Taiwan and visited him. And instantly everybody saw Han Lao Shi's Kung Fu is stunningly good. Han Lao Shi came from a very pure family lineage of Han style long fist. And he was our first target to try to negotiate, try to align our vision to join force. So Han Lao Shi, he mastered in his family style, so his lineage is very pure. And this is definitely not the long fist that you have in your impression. And this is some really, really good stuff. And it deserves to continue into the future, to be preserved. And then this is basically what we are thinking about to start off with a testing program. It's a short-term program of Tan Tui. And believe me, this is not the Tan Tui that some of you may have learned. It's very, very different. So for the faculty sense, we're working with these really amazing teachers. This is not publishing a book. This is not publishing a DVD. So there's no publishing hassles. There's no shipping. They don't have to worry about shipping a book and this and that. And then they can market their lineage globally. Tsáng Wǔ Gé will help them market Hanmen Wuji, the Han style martial art club globally, right? And then also creating passive income for Master Han. And then this is scalable. So Master Han has all kinds of different materials that he can formulate and then offer Tsáng Wǔ Gé in the future. Now Tsáng Wǔ Gé, also the Changquan Shu in the future. So this is really scalable. And then we will do all the administration, marketing, setup, digital stuff, technical, support for him on our end. So this one I'll quickly go through it. So we will we'll work with the teacher. We'll set up the video on demand setup, all the technical stuff, internet stuff. We'll optimize, like I said earlier, we will study, analyze, and optimize the teacher and student interaction. We will handle the curriculum organization so we can really optimize the program so nobody needs to train 5 to 10 years. And then we'll help with consulting with filming to make sure everything looks cohesive. We'll handle the translation, which is huge. Master Han, for example, his English is not his primary language, so we will definitely help him with that. We handle the editing. We help with the editing and uploading, marketing, packaging, and also the monthly performance analysis. And we're consulting in every other way, and also the accounting. Basically, all the annoying stuff so the teacher can focus on what they're good at. As I mentioned before, some of you may know Master Chu. It's also Dr. Chu, and he's a very good friend of mine. I really respect him. He's a really high-level Wing Chun master. He lives in Los Angeles, and he is from the Yip Man Hawkin Chung lineage. And Master Chu, he also studies. He has a really open mind. He learned body training from me. He learned all the 3 major internal styles. And we talk about, these martial arts stuff all the time. And I really think he has a lot to offer, especially he's a Chinese doctor. He has different perspective from the medicine aspect of it as well. So he has a lot to offer to Tsáng Wǔ Gé. And then also, this is also a very exciting sort of a collaboration as well. Some of you may have known there's this really rapidly growing Daqiang organization. It's called the International Daqiang Organization. It's been founded and has spearheaded by Master Guo Xiaobo in Toronto, Canada. And he has been the past 30 years literally on developing to research and really bring back the real battlefield Daqiang system through a vast amount of research. It's really amazing. So he's trying to bring back this art of Daqiang to the modern ages, and he created a competition rules, technique, training system. So I have already talked to some of the senior coaches within IDO, and this is definitely something that we will be collaborating on and offer on Bajishu. And long-term offering, long-term expectation is that within 2 to 3 years, we want to grow from 2 extra shu, we want to grow into 10 really quality traditional Chinese martial art shu, vertical. And then we want to develop our own proprietary app, definitely utilizing the AI technology to help each of the teachers to save time, further saving their time to grade, review these homework so they can teach more. So when that happens, when we start developing this piece of technology, we'll be seeking for funding, fundraising, seeking for investors as well. And then this is a big undertaking. We're gonna start creating, working with each of the masters, start creating this cross shu, sort of a ranking system or certificate system. And most importantly, we want the world to know learning traditional martial art is cool, and then the teachers can make a living with it, and it does have a future. It's not something that is old school only. All right. And lastly, I want to talk about something that is even further and greater. We're going to start with focusing on traditional Chinese martial art, various different styles. And then in the future, this is our ambition. We want to grow into other cultures' traditional martial art. So I think this idea is huge, and it's definitely scalable. So we want to grow into European martial art. We want to grow into Southeast Asia martial art, the Cambodia, the Filipino martial art, the Muay Thai, then the European, such as the Russian martial arts. So the potential is really, really vast. So what's important is we're going to focus on traditional martial art, and not to mention Japanese, Korean. There's so many different arts that we can encompass in Tsáng Wǔ Gé. Tsáng Wǔ Gé itself, it means it's a library of hidden martial arts. So that name itself encompasses anything that's martial art, not just Chinese. All right. Thank you, guys. And thank you for your time. And I think we spent about 40 minutes on this. And thanks for your patience. And you can leave comments below or ask any questions. And if you have really willing to help us and support us, we are very appreciate that gesture. And please directly message me or email me. If you can make a donation to support this initiation. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you, everyone.